On December 3, 1999, an Indian trial court judge handed down a 450-page verdict. In it, Judge G.P. Thureja made a stunning admission. He explicitly wrote that he knew the defendant was the man who committed the crime, and then he acquitted him. The victim was Priyadarshini Mattoo, a bright, ambitious third-year law student. The man the judge let walk free was Santosh Kumar Singh. He had graduated from Delhi University's Campus Law Center a year earlier, but he kept coming back to campus, developing a dangerous obsession with Priyadarshini. He was also the son of a highly ranked police officer. Priyadarshini did exactly what the system tells victims of stalking to do. She filed multiple formal police reports. She complained directly to the university administration. She even managed to get a personal security officer, or PSO, assigned by the police to protect her. Despite building that paper trail, the system failed her. On January 23, 1996, her police guard arrived late to her home in Vasant Kunj. In a brief 25-minute window when she was completely alone, she was brutally attacked and murdered. Because of Santosh's powerful police connections, the investigation was quickly transferred to the Central Bureau of Investigation, or CBI. They built an exceptionally strong case against him, outlining 13 distinct circumstantial links connecting him directly to the crime scene. Which brings us back to that courtroom in 1999. How does a legal system formally acquit a man while simultaneously declaring his guilt? And what happens when a grieving family and an outraged public simply refuse to accept that answer? Out of the CBI's 13 circumstantial links, the most damning were the physical and medical proofs. When police questioned Santosh the night of the murder, they noticed a fresh, unbandaged fracture on his right hand. Santosh claimed he had injured his hand in a motorcycle accident more than a week earlier, but the medical experts who examined him at Safdarjung Hospital that same night told a completely different story. This chart shows the anatomy of the injury. Doctors found a fresh break on the fifth metacarpal bone. Crucially, they noted an absolute absence of any callus formation, the soft tissue that starts building up within days to heal a broken bone. They also detected crepitus, a distinct clicking sound caused by freshly broken bone fragments rubbing together. The science proved the injury was only 24 to 48 hours old, typical of a violent beating. Then came the physical debris. Investigators found shattered pieces of a transparent plastic visor right next to Priyadarshini's body. When they seized Santosh's motorcycle helmet 2 days later, its visor was completely missing, and the remaining plastic matched the fragments at the crime scene. The DNA profile from the lab in Hyderabad confirmed a match between Santosh's blood and the biological evidence found on the victim. The fresh fracture, the shattered helmet, and the DNA match formed an unbroken chain. Objective science placed him in that room, leaving zero room for standard reasonable doubt. Yet Judge Thureja managed to bypass all of this.
He did it by hyper-focusing on minor procedural details, effectively manufacturing doubt out of thin air. This graphic shows the exact discrepancy the judge fixated on. The hospital originally drew 2 samples of 10 milliliters of blood from accused, dividing that 20 milliliters across 4 sterile vials. But when those vials were opened at the testing lab in Hyderabad, only 12 milliliters of blood arrived. Experts testified that some evaporation is normal, and there was a slight leak in the sealing material. But the judge used this 8-milliliter gap to declare the entire DNA test untrustworthy. The judge reasoned that because Santosh's father was a highly placed police officer, the lower-level investigators must have tampered with the evidence. Relying on this assumption, he threw out the forensic proof and let a killer walk free. The 1999 acquittal sparked immediate street protests and sustained media campaigns. The case became a frequent subject of debate in Parliament, as the public refused to let the verdict stand. That pressure forced the legal system to act. The CBI appealed, and the case moved to the Delhi High Court. The High Court systematically dismantled the trial judge's logic. They ruled that the DNA test was scientifically valid, and pointed out a crucial legal principle. When an accused provides a demonstrably false defense, like the fake motorcycle accident, that lie actually becomes a direct link in the chain of guilt. It took a wave of public scrutiny to force the judiciary to look clearly at its own irrefutable evidence. The High Court completely reversed the acquittal, convicting Santosh and handing down the death penalty. The legal battle dragged on for another 4 years. finally reaching the highest court in the nation in 2010. The Supreme Court firmly upheld the conviction. They permanently validated the DNA profiling and the dense web of circumstantial evidence that the CBI had gathered 14 years prior. This graphic illustrates the complex nuance of legal sentencing. The court had to weigh two concepts against each other: aggravating factors, which included the extreme brutality and stalking leading up to the murder, against mitigating factors. These mitigating elements included the accused's young age at the time of the crime and the fact that he had since married and had a child. In a delicate legal balancing act, the Supreme Court decided those mitigating factors were significant enough to pull him back from the gallows. They commuted his death sentence to life imprisonment. Even today, the fight isn't entirely over. Santosh continually files petitions for premature release, arguing that his time in prison has reformed him. This forces Priyadarshini's family to repeatedly step back into the legal arena, relentlessly defending the verdict year after year to keep him behind bars.